It's 7:15 in the morning. You're standing in a line you stand in every Tuesday, waiting for a coffee you won't taste after the first 3 sips, or maybe paying for a streaming subscription you haven't opened in 6 months. $5. You don't think about it. Nobody thinks about it. $5 is the exact price of an impulse you won't remember by tomorrow afternoon. It is an amount so small, it vanishes from your checking account without leaving a footprint. Now, hold that $5 bill in your mind, because this is not a story about how to make a cup of coffee at home. This is a story about the same $5 spent every single day over 20 years, and about the 2 completely different lives it quietly decides you will live. You are 25 years old. It's the next morning. Instead of spending the $5 on something with a wrapper or a lid, you open an app you downloaded the night before. You set up an automated rule, $5 a day, about $152 a month, routed directly into a broad market index fund. You don't try to pick the next tech giant. You don't try to time the market. You buy a tiny, boring sliver of every large company on Earth. The screen updates. Your balance reads $5. It looks absurd. It feels like planting a single blade of grass in a dirt lot and calling it a lawn. There is no rush, no notification congratulating you. The $5 leaves your account before you can miss it. That was always the strange part. The $5 disappeared either way. You just changed where it landed. A full year passes. You are 26. Your balance reads about $1,900. You contributed $1,825 of your own money, and the market added about $75 while you slept. $75. You mention it at lunch to a coworker. He laughs. Not to be mean, just honestly. $75 for a whole year of waiting? He says. I spend that on a Saturday night out. He's not wrong. He buys lunch downtown every day. He orders the upgraded drinks. He grabs whatever catches his eye at the register. $5 here, $8 there, scattered across 1,000 tiny conveniences he will never be able to name later. You say nothing. You close your phone. The difference between you and him this year is $75 and a habit nobody else can see. But the $75 isn't the part that matters. The habit is. You are 30. 5 years have gone by. Your balance crosses $11,000. You have put in about $9,000 of your own dollars. The other $2,000 simply materialized out of time. For the first time, you look at the screen and realize that number equals every forgotten coffee, every impulse upgrade, and every casual swipe of a debit card since you were 25. Except instead of sitting in a landfill or floating in a drainage ditch, it's sitting in an account with your name on it. That same winter, a friend sends you a screenshot. A stock you've never heard of is up 300% in 6 days. He tells you he just doubled his savings before breakfast. He tells you that your boring index fund moves like a glacier, that you're playing it too safe while everyone else is getting rich. He's right about the speed, but he's wrong about the direction. You've seen this shape before. It is the exact same promise made by a lottery ticket scratched with a quarter in a gas station parking lot. The promise that a small amount of money can become a large amount of money instantly, with no time in between. You text back that you're glad he's doing well, but you'll pass. 3 months later, the stock collapses by 80%. He stops talking about the market. You keep doing the most boring thing a person can possibly do with money. You keep being early to bed and slow to rich. You are 35, 10 years in. Your account is sitting at roughly $28,000. And then, the year goes bad, the global economy stumbles. Headlines use words like crash and contagion. In less than a month, your balance drops by nearly $10,000. You lose more money on paper in 4 weeks than you contributed all year. Your coworker, the one who laughed at your $75, panics. He sold the few stocks he owned at the very bottom because he wanted to stop the bleeding. He tells you he's keeping everything in cash now until things feel safe. You feel the knot in your stomach, but you don't sell. In fact, you do something even quieter. You simply don't open the app. You let the number fall. And on the first of every month, that same $152 walks quietly out of your checking account, buying shares of the global economy while they are cheaper than they've been in a decade. You are not a financial genius. You're just bored enough to do nothing. And doing nothing when everyone else is screaming turns out to be the most profitable skill in finance. By the time the news agrees that the economy is safe again, your automated habit has already bought the recovery nobody else could see coming. You are 40 years old. 15 years have passed. The market came back the way it always has so far, and your balance is now $53,000. Sit with that number for a second. You have contributed about $27,000 of your own dollars. For the first time in your life, the account holds almost as much growth money as money you actually worked for. This is the exact moment the whole narrative shifts. Up until now, you were pushing a heavy boulder up a steep hill, $5 at a time. Now, the boulder has reached the crest. It is starting to roll down the other side on its own momentum. That spring, your company announces layoffs. The co-worker who always spent his $5 on the moment is let go. He has a decent severance, but nothing behind it. No cushion between him and the panic of a missed paycheck. You survive the cuts. But even if you hadn't, you realize something profound. You have $53,000 sitting quietly behind your life. You understand finally that the $5 was never just about retirement at age 65. It was an invisible wall you were building between yourself and the version of a bad year that ends in desperation. You are 45. 20 years from the morning you decided not to buy the coffee you wouldn't remember. Your balance is just over $89,000. Look at the breakdown because it is the entire story of financial freedom told in 3 numbers. Over 20 years, the total amount of cash you actually took out of your paycheck, $5 at a time, was $36,000. The other $53,000 is pure growth. Money you never worked an hour for. Money you never answered an email for. Money you never sacrificed a weekend for. And here is the tipping point, the moment the math flips forever. This year alone, at an average 8% return, your account generated over $7,000 just by existing. That means your money is now earning 4 times more in a single year than you are putting into it by hand. Your money has officially taken on a full-time second job. You have become a passenger to your own wealth. Your old coworker is 45 now too. He made the exact same salary as you for 2 decades. He worked just as hard. He was a good man who never missed a shift. But over 20 years, his version of the $5 also added up to $36,000. He drank it. He streamed it. He upgraded it. He let it slip through his fingers in 1,000 tiny moments of friction-free spending. He has memories of fleeting conveniences. You have those same memories mostly, and also nearly $90,000 sitting behind you, compounding faster every single day. Nobody can point to the exact afternoon the 2 of your lives split apart. There was no dramatic fork in the road. There were just 2 different answers to the exact same tiny question, asked again and again every morning, until the answers stopped being choices and became 2 completely different futures. Somewhere right now, it is 7:15 in the morning. Someone is standing in a line with $5 in their hand. They are not doing anything wrong. $5 is nothing, and that has always been the trap. It is too small to matter, which is exactly why almost no one keeps it, and exactly why it quietly decides everything for the few who do. You are never going to feel the $5 either way. You only ever got to choose what it was turning you into while you weren't paying attention.